Good morning, friends. Today we will study the first chapter of class 11th biology, that is the living world. Now we should understand what is life. Life is a unique complex organization of molecules that express itself through the chemical reaction which lead to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation and reproduction. So the object which exhibit growth, development, reproduction, respiration and other characteristics of life, these are known as living beings. So all the living beings show these characters like growth, development, reproduction, respiration, etc. Now there are certain unique features of living organisms. Means only the living organism shows these features. Like first, which is very important, is growth. All the living organism grow in mass and number. A multicellular organism means that it is made up of many type of cells and each cell is performing a different function. Each cell has a definite function in a definite organ. So a multicellular organism increases its mass by cell division. So in multicellular organism, mass is increased by cell division, that is the cells multiply maybe by mitosis or meiosis. In plants, growth continues throughout the life in their meristematic area, but in animal, growth occurs at certain age. So in animals, the growth occurs at certain age, whereas in plants, the growth is throughout their life and it occurs in the meristematic area. Living organisms also show internal growth due to addition of materials and formation of cells inside the body. Non-living organisms like mountains, crystals, etc. also grow, but due to addition of similar materials to their outer surface. So second important unique feature is reproduction. Reproduction, we know it is formation of new individuals of similar kind. Reproduction is not essential for the survival of organism. It is just required for perpetuation of population. Now we know that basically there are two types of reproduction, that is sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, we know that both the parents are involved to produce more or less similar individuals, whereas in asexual reproduction only single parent is involved. An individual copy is obtained which is similar to the parent. So this is the difference, that in sexual reproduction both the parents are involved to produce more or less kind of individuals, and there may be genetic variations because both the parents are having different traits and those traits will be passed in the individual. So there may be some variations, but in case of asexual reproduction, as we know that there is only single parent, so the individual is exact copy of the parent because only one parent is involved and all the genetic characters are transferred from parent to their offspring. Asexual reproduction may occur by fission, fermentation, regeneration, vegetative propagation. In unicellular organism, growth and reproduction are synonyms. Many organisms like mules, sterile workers, bees, human couples do not reproduce. Therefore, reproduction is not an all-inclusive characteristic of living organism. However, no living organism or object has the power to reproduce or replicate. Third is metabolism. Now, first we should understand what does metabolism mean. The sum total of all type of chemical reactions which are occurring in an individual due to specific interactions among the different types of molecules is known as metabolism. So metabolism is the total sum of reactions which are occurring in an individual. And this metabolism is basically of two types. One is catabolism and other is anabolism. So anabolism includes all the building up of reactions to increase the mass of an organism like photosynthesis. And catabolism is breakdown reaction and it is examples are like respiration, digestion, non-living objects, etc. So anabolism, we can describe anabolism as building up of reaction to increase the mass, whereas catabolism is just reverse, that is breakdown of reactions, and examples are respiration, digestion, etc. Fourth characteristic is consciousness. It is the awareness of the surrounding, responding to external stimuli. So external stimuli may be physical, chemical, or biological. Plants also respond to stimuli like light, water, gravitation, pollution, etc. All living organisms may be prokaryote to eukaryote. They respond to different types of stimuli. So this is basically a characteristic which is seen in all the organisms, as all living organisms respond to a particular type of stimuli. It may be physical, it may be chemical or biological. Human being is the only organism who is aware of himself. Consciousness therefore becomes the defining property of living organism. Next property is lifespan. Every living organism has a definite lifespan of birth, growth, maturity, senescence, and death. Living organisms are also self-replicating, evolving, and self-regulatory interactive systems capable of responding to external stimuli. So these are the 6 main characteristics of living organisms. Diversity in the living world, or biodiversity, we know is the occurrence of variety of life forms differing in morphology, size, color, anatomy, habitats, and habits. So each different form of plant, animal, microorganism, it represents a particular species. Currently, there are 1.7 to 1.8 million living organisms which are known to science, out of which 1.25 animals and 0.5 millions are plants. So basically there are three features that are important. One is identification, second is nomenclature, and third is classification. These are the three important criteria for the living organism. First, we will identify all the organism, as it is very important. Second, all the organisms are named, and third, classification is very important because all the living organisms which are present on the earth are divided into various classes. Systematic is the branch of biology that deals with categorizing plants, animals, and other organisms into different categories that can be named, compared, and studied. Now, why is identification important? Identification is first the finding of correct name and place of an organism in a system of classification. It is basically done with the help of keys. It is also carried out by determining the similarity with already known organism. So identification is very important because it determines the similarity with the already known organism. Next is nomenclature. Nomenclature, we know it is a process of standardized naming of living organism, such as a particular organism is named by a particular name all over the world. For plants, scientific names are based on International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. So for plants, there is a separate um, code, that is International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, and for animals, names are given on International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. So scientific names ensures that each organism has only one name. So each organism has a specific name which is different from the other organism, and based on plants and animals, these are named. Now, biological nomenclature, it is universally accepted principles to provide scientific name to known organism. Each name has two components. First is generic name, which is genus, and a specific name, which is species. So this system of nomenclature was provided by Carolus Linnaeus. This is very important, and this question is repeated again and again in your exam, that who has given the biological nomenclature. Now we should also know the scientific name of organisms, like first, what is the scientific name of mango? That is Mangifera indica. And human beings, it is very common, that is Homo sapiens. Now there are certain universal rules for nomenclature. First, biological name are generally written in Latin and written in italics. The first word in a biological name represents the genus, while the second denotes the specific epithet. Third, both the words in biological name, when handwritten, are separated, underlined, and printed in italics. Last is the first word denoting the genus starts with a capital letter, while it ends with a small letter. So these are the rules of nomenclature. So these are very important, and before naming any organism, maybe plant or animal, these are used. So next is classification. Classification is a process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characteristics. Now the importance of classification is that it makes the study of organism very convenient. So with the classification we can study a particular organism. Taxonomy, the process of classification on the basis of external and internal structure, along with the internal structure of the cell development process and ecological information, is known as taxonomy. So taxonomy is also important because with the help of taxonomy we are studying the internal structure of cell, various developmental process, ecological formation, etc. Taxonomic category is a rank or level in the hierarchical classification of organism. So it is basically a rank or a level which is present in hierarchy classification. There are 7 obligate characteristics and some are intermediate characteristics. Like this is the taxonomical classification, that is taxonomic hierarchy. According to this, first is kingdom, second is division or phylum, third is class, fourth is order, fifth is family, next is genus, and last is species. So this is the hierarchy, taxonomic hierarchy of classification, and according to that, this species is the smallest. So species are the natural population of individuals or a group of population which resemble one another in essential morphological and reproductive characteristics, so that they can enable to interbreed freely and produce fertile offspring. So for mango tree indica is a species of genus Mangifera indica. Now next to species, second is genus. It is a group of related species which resemble one another in certain correlated characteristics. All the species of genus have evolved from a common ancestor, like lion, tiger, leopard. These have evolved from genus Panther. Next is family. Family, it is a taxonomic characteristic which contain more or one related genera. So all the genera of the family have some common features or correlated characteristic. Like family Solanaceae contains a number of genera like Solanum, Witania, Datura, etc. Now after family comes the order. This category includes one or more related families. Families are maybe different in case of carnivorous. Like next is class. A class is made of one or more related orders. The class Dicotyledonous of flowering plants contain all the dicots, which are grouped in several orders like rose, renales, etc. So, in case of particular family, different classes are there. The term phylum is used for animals while division is used for the case of plants. They are formed of one or more class. The phylum Chordata of animals contains only the mammals but also aves, reptiles, etc. Kingdom, it is the highest taxonomic category. All the plants are included in the kingdom Plantae, while animals belong to different kingdom, that is Animalia. So kingdom is the highest taxonomic category. On all the plants in the world, they are grouped under Plantae, and all animals are grouped under Animalia. Now we should also know what are taxonomic aids. Techniques, procedures and stored information that are useful in the identification and classification of organisms are known as taxonomic aids. So all the techniques, procedures and information which are used to identify a particular organism, they are known as taxonomic aids. Herbarium is a very common word. Herbarium is a place where the dried and pressed plant specimens mounted sheets are kept symmetrically according to widely accepted system of classification. We can prepare herbarium sheets that carry a label providing information about the date and place of collection, local, botanical name, family, everything is present in the herbarium sheet. Botanical garden. Now what are botanical garden? They are specialized garden having collection of living plants for reference. So plants in these gardens are grown basically for identification purpose, and each plant is labeled by its scientific name and family. So the famous botanical garden includes Royal Botanical Gardens in London, Indian Botanical Garden in Calcutta and National Botanical Garden in Lucknow. So these botanical gardens have various categories of living plants, and they are basically for the identification and study. Next is museum. Biological museum is a set up in educational institutions like colleges and schools for reference purposes. So specimens are preserved in a particular container or jar which contain a preservative solution, or dry specimens, and insects are preserved in insect boxes after collecting, killing and peeling. So these museums basically contain dry specimens or dead specimens, and they are kept in preservative, and they are basically to see or study a particular living organism. Zoological parks are the places where wild animals are kept in protected environments under human care, and which enable us to learn about their food habitats and behaviors. Now most important term is key. Taxonomic key is artificial analytic device having list of statement with dichromatic table of alternate characteristic which is used for identifying organism. In this usually two contrasting characters are used. One is present in the organism is chosen while other which is rejected. So each statement of key is known as the lead. Separate taxonomic keys are used for each category like separate species, genus, family, etc. Keys are generally analytical in nature. Other terms like flora, manuals, monograph, catalogs, these are some other terms, and these are basically used for recording descriptions like flora, manuals, monographs. With the help of these we can keep the recordings of the various living organisms. So please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to get more videos.